Okay, so now that you have downloaded and installed the Fusion 360 software, once you open the software, you will see the screen. This is the workspace, the design workspace of Fusion 360. This is the default window which opens up. On the top left, we have this data panel where you have all the different folders and projects. You can make new folders and upload existing files into the cloud using this button over here. Close it for now. And this is the file drop down. Using this, you can open new design or open existing designs which are stored locally on your machine and save the current file. And you can also export. Once you have made the file, you can export it in different formats. I will be covering this in the future videos. So now you have the save button over here and undo and redo. Now this you'll see over here, this shows the title bar. This shows the name of your design. You can open multiple design at once. Let's say this is a design. I'm just quickly making a cylinder over here. Don't worry, I'll show you how to make this. Okay. Okay, let's say one design is this, and you can open one more design. And let's say you make a cuboid over here. So yeah, so you have two different designs over here, right? You can switch back and forth between them. Okay, you can save this one. You can save. A dialog box appears. You can name it cylinder, and you can change the location here. Okay, I have selected tutorials and I'll save it. And you can close this design. Don't save. Okay, that's how that works. It is similar to your tabs in a web browser. Then over here you have job status. So Fusion 360 is a cloud-based software. So whenever you do any kind of simulation, all that happens on the cloud. So it will show you the progress of those jobs over here. And this is a notification center where you will receive messages such as updates which are pending and everything. And over here is your Autodesk profile. Here, this is important part, preferences, where you can change different aspects of the designing environment. You can change the shortcuts. Let's say if you're coming from a different CAD software, you can change. Let's say you are coming from SolidWorks, you can change the shortcuts from Fusion 360 to SolidWorks so that you can better adapt to Fusion 360, and leave it on Fusion 360 for now. You have different tabs over here. A lot of things there are which you can tweak. You can also change default design units. Let's say you can change it to inches, but I prefer to keep it millimeters. And you can tinker around with these settings. Okay, then below that we have these toolbar. Okay, so this is the solid toolbar. Then we have surface, mesh, sheet metal, plastic, and we also have utilities, where you can make meshes for 3D printing as well. I'll explain this as we move along in this course. Okay, so we have create drop down. This is basically used to make 3D bodies. And then we have modify, which is used to modify the 3D bodies which we have created. And then assemble, this is used to make multiple 3D bodies work together. And you have other tools such as inspect, where you can do section analysis of your models. Let me show you like this. These are pretty advanced ones which are not part of this course, but the basic ones will be covered in the length of this course. Then Fusion also have different workspaces. So right now we are in design workspace. You can go and change it to render workspace as well, where you create renders. And then you can go to manufacture workspace, where you define how this cylinder will be manufactured in a real life. Coming back to design, you have this browser window. This contains some crucial data of your design. So it contains where your origin is located, all the bodies, so that this is one body, and the sketch we used to make the, if I hide the body, you can see this shows the sketch which we used to make the body. Okay, you can hide or unhide objects or sketches over here like this. Now coming to the bottom over here, you can see you have another toolbar. Using this, you can orbit around your model. You also have this look at, where you click on this face and it will move the camera to that face. You also have pan, where you can move around the object. And then you have zoom. So if I click on my left mouse button and drag it, I can zoom in and out. There is also another way of zooming in, which is window zoom. So I click on zoom window, and if I drag it like this, you see the window zoomed in to the highlighted area. Okay, now, and this is the design cube. If I click on home, it will show us the isometric view. You can click on different views such as top or front and right. There are many other views. See, this will show us the bottom. And coming back to the bottom toolbar, you have display settings, visual styles. Let's say I want to see just the wireframe of this body. So this is the wireframe view. Okay. And let's say I just wanted to see the shaded version. So see, this is the shaded version of the 3D body. By default, it is shaded with visible edges only. And you can also toggle the layout grid. By default, this is on, but I prefer to keep it off. This helps to keep the design workspace cleaner. Okay. And yeah, so, and this is viewports. Clicking on this, you can get multiple view of your 3D design at once. Okay, you can exit this by clicking on a single view. And below it, you have your design timeline. So if I drag it over here, it will take us back to the sketch. Now you see the sketch, we cannot see it right now. That is because over here, we turned it off. If I click on this eye, it is visible again. Okay, and now if I drag it, you can see the 3D body again. Okay, so this is basically the workspace, the design workspace of Fusion 360. And in the next one, we'll get to know about the create drop down of the Autodesk Fusion 360 software. The first step towards learning Fusion 360 is obtaining the license for the Autodesk Fusion 360 software. There are 3 types of licenses available. First is a 30-day trial license. Second is an educator's or student license. Third is a fully paid license. The 30-day free trial license is available to all first-time users of the software. Educators and student license is available to people who have institutional domain email IDs and ID proofs. Fully paid licenses can be used by anyone who is willing to pay a monthly or an annual fee to use the software. For the purposes of this demonstration, we will be showing you how to download the educators or student license. For that, head over to autodesk.com and click on Products drop-down. From there, select Educational Access. You will be taken to this page. From there, select Students and scroll down until you see Access the Autodesk Education Plan. Here you can see the steps. They are very simple steps to follow. And once you are through with this process, you will receive a link in your email. Using that link, you can download the setup for the software. Click on Get Products. Here you can see Autodesk Fusion 360 over here. Click on Get Started. It will take you to this page. Now enter all the information which the page requests. Once all the data is collected, Autodesk will review your profile, and then once everything is verified, you will receive that link on your registered email. Please note that this software is available for both Mac and Windows machine. Also, you will need a physical keyboard and a 3 mouse button, meaning a mouse with a clickable left and right button as well as a clickable scroll wheel. Once you have downloaded this setup and installed the Autodesk Fusion 360 software on your machine and have a keyboard and 3 mouse buttons with you, you can proceed to the next video of this course. Now that you have the Fusion 360 software available with you, we can start with the first step towards 3D modeling in Autodesk Fusion 360. In order to make 3D bodies, we need to make 2D sketches or 2D profiles which can then be converted into 3D bodies. So, the first step towards that is creating a sketch. You can click on this button over here and then you can choose any of these planes. Okay, so sketching can be done on planes like this, or you can also do it on faces of 3D objects. I will demonstrate it in a while. First, let me introduce you to all the create options you have in 2D sketching. Okay, so we can start with the line tool. You can either press this button over here or press L on your keyboard to activate the line tool. Okay, this over here is the origin. Okay, this is the 0, 0 of your plane. Okay, now left clicking on the mouse button and then you can input the parameters. So like right now I can enter the length as 100 millimeters. Okay, and then when I press tab, I can change the angle. Let's say the angle is 45 degrees. Okay, and I'll hit enter and I've made a line. Another way of doing the same thing is I press L on the keyboard, press left mouse button and again press left mouse button like this and click on this tick mark. Okay, now you will see that there is a difference between this line and this line. This one is black and this one is blue. What this means is the black one is completely defined and blue one needs to have some constraints. What I mean by that is first I'll press escape on the keyboard to get out of the line tool. And now if I go to the black line and try to drag this point, you see the line is not moving. Okay, but if I go to this point and if I try to drag it, you see I can move it in this space. This means that this line is not constrained. Fusion denotes that by highlighting that sketch part in blue color. What I can do is I can use constraints over here like this, or I can add dimension to this line. Okay, so how to add dimensions? You can press either D on your keyboard or you can go to create and find sketch dimension. Okay, and now I can select this line and enter the dimension. I'll enter it as 100. And when I press escape, you can see that line is still blue in color, which means it is still not defined. I can still move it around. Although the length is not changing. The length remains constant at 100 millimeters. So this makes it clear that I need to define the angle with respect to some other constrained sketch line. So again, I'll press D for sketch dimension. Okay, now I have two options. I can either give this line an angle with respect to this line or this line. This dotted line, this means that this line is not an active sketch part. This is just a reference line. Okay, and this part is an active part of our profile or sketch. Okay, so I'll try to give this line an angle with respect to this reference line. So I'll select this line and then I'll select this line, and now you see we can enter the angle dimension. Okay, so I'll enter it as 45 degrees, and now you can see it comes up in black. Okay, now at this point both these lines are completely constrained, but we cannot make a 3D model out of this. Why? Because this is an open sketch. See, this figure is not closed. Let me press N on my keyboard as a shortcut for line tool and connect these 2 points. And now you see this area inside is now shaded in blue. This means that this is a closed profile and can be used to make 3D bodies. Okay, let me demonstrate it to you. I'll go to finish sketch. Okay, and if I use this extrude tool from create menu, I can select this profile. I can either drag this arrow or enter the dimension over here or over here. Let's say the dimension is 100 millimeters. Hit enter, and now you see we have made a 3D body from 2D sketches. Now we'll dive deeper into 2D sketching. Now you have basic idea of how a 2D sketch can be used to make a 3D body. Now let's dive deeper into 2D sketching. First of all, I'll hide this body over here. See this body one, I'll hide it because we don't need it as of now. Okay, and I'll create a new sketch. Again, create sketch, select the plane. Okay, so now earlier I demonstrated how to use the line tool. Now you can use 2-point rectangle tool like this. All right, and you can enter dimension by hitting D on your keyboard, and let's set this dimension as 40 and this dimension as 80. Okay, this is a fully constrained sketch. Okay, and now here's a tip. If you are making a 3D model of a product which you need to manufacture in real life, you will need to have fillets on your 2D sketches or the 3D bodies. So basically fillets is nothing but a way to convert these sharp corners into a curve. Okay, these sharp corners don't do well in real life products. So how to add a fillet? You can go to modify drop down menu and select fillet, and then select the 2 edges and enter the dimension. I'll enter 5 and hit enter. Okay, now you can see the fillet has been created. Another way of doing it, doing the exact same thing is selecting fillet and selecting the vertex and adding the dimension. Hitting enter, you see we have added a fillet. Okay, and even in the rectangle tool, okay, so I'm dragging this around by pressing the middle mouse button. Okay, and see this rectangle tool, you have 3 options over here. So this one we did a 2-point rectangle. This over here is a center rectangle. What that does is this. Okay, so you basically have the origin point at the center. Okay, now you can enter the dimension. I'll enter the dimension as 100. Press tab and make this dimension as 50 and hit enter. Now you'll see we have created a rectangle, but this is not defined. Why? Because I can just move this around over here like this. This is not tied down to a point or anything. Okay, so here we can what we can do is we can use constraints or dimensions in order to make this fully defined sketch. We'll hit D on the keyboard and select this origin point and this line over here and enter the dimension as 150. So see, now this will only move in this direction. See, it is only moving vertically, not horizontally. If I try, I cannot move it horizontally. Okay, so we have constrained it in the horizontal direction. Now we have to constrain it in the vertical direction as well. So what we will do is we'll add a vertical dimension, this and this, and vertical dimension 10 millimeters. Now it is completely black. It is completely constrained sketch. Okay, so and another point type of rectangle is set the rectangle tool. Then you have 3-point rectangle. So basically you are giving 3 different points. Okay, can change dimension to 90. Hit enter, I've made a triangle. Okay, now you can define it like in the way we did for this one. Okay, and also here's another tip. Let's say we have this slot tool. Okay, and I'm using this more than often, and it is not available as a shortcut over here. What I can do is I can go to the tool, and these three dots are highlighted over here. Click on this and pin to toolbar. So now this tool is available for you to use as a shortcut. It's a very simple tool. You give one line, one point and another point, and you can make a slot like this. So this you can explore it by yourself. These are fairly simple tools. Okay, and now you should get on how to use these constraints. These are very important tools. Okay, so basically I'll press L on my keyboard and I'm making this line over here. Okay, now I want this line to stay vertical at all points. Okay, I'll go to this horizontal vertical constraint and I'll select this line. Now you see this line will always stay vertical. And now if I go to create drop down and select circle, and from there I select center diameter circle. Okay, you can also press C on your keyboard as a direct shortcut for this tool. And I make a circle of dimension, let's say 50 millimeter as a diameter. And I want this circle to be tangent to this line. Okay, so I'll use this tangent constraint. Okay, this is constraints are actually not widely used in provided in the beginner's course, but I think that you should have a basic knowledge of how to use constraints. Okay, and let's say I have made this figure over here. Okay, and I want to just close it like this. See this, you can see there's a tangent point. It automatically snaps when it's tangent. Okay, so here this tangent constraint is automatically applied. Okay, if I do the same for here as well, we find where it snaps. Okay, now let's say I want to mirror this. Okay, on over here, what I'll do is I'll make a reference line. I'll press L on my keyboard. Okay, and I'll go to line type and I select a construction line, and I see automatically it has given it a vertical constraint. Okay, and click on the tick. And now what I can do is I can go to create drop down and select mirror and select all the sketch lines. So if I press the left mouse button and I drag it like this and select mirror line, this is my mirror line. You can see it has mirrored the sketch over here. Okay, so this is this can be used by you to save your time. Okay, and then let's say you wanted to make an offset sketch of this line over here. What you will do is you'll go to modify drop down and select offset. You can also hit O on your keyboard as a shortcut and then select this line and you can move it. Now see here it is coming as a dashed line. That is because we have selected line type here as construction. If I undo it, if I click it, now it's a solid line. Okay, now I have selected this. I hit on OK and change this to 5 millimeters. I've created an offset of 5 millimeters. I can also create offset of this circle over here again for 5 millimeters and see I've created this. Now I can also trim this unwanted piece over here. If I press T on my keyboard, and it will it knows which part should go, and you can delete the unwanted parts as well. Alright, and now if I finish sketch and go to extrude, I can make this. Okay, and I can revolve this around by pressing shift and middle mouse button and dragging the mouse around. Okay, press home. So this was basics of 2D sketching in Autodesk Fusion 360. This will be enough for you to get started with making 2D sketches and then producing 3D bodies from those sketches.